Our next speaker is Dr. Jack Knightley. Jack is a former chair of this organization and is a senior partner at Atlantic Brain and Spine, and he's going to be talking to us today about the NeuroPoint Alliance as the home of registries. Jack.
Thanks everybody for participating and for having a great meeting. These are my disclosures, which are completely relevant to this conversation. I used to be the chair of the NPA, as well as I'm an executive on the ASR, and I'm past director of ABNS and worked on POST, which is another registry platform. So NeuroPoint Alliance has been around now for 14 years. Just briefly looked at its mission statement. It's mostly for improving the quality and safety of care using registry science and outcome science to achieve that goal. So we live in this universe of what are our imperatives? Public Medicare reporting, private insurance are going to be wanting this data because we didn't really have it. It was all in the past mined from large administrative databases, which were poor in their design and what they collected. Again, starting as an effectiveness and safety tool as core, QOD and all the NPA registries are quality improvement to help us deliver care to our patients. But then we have these opportunities for quality improvement both nationally and locally, education and training, as well as continuous certification, MOC, by taking this kind of data and then extrapolating it to other databases and advancing science, as Tony was alluding to. NPA currently portfolio is look here. We're going to spend most of the time talking about spine, but we also have tumor, vascular, and these are all different type registries because they're not all just one within the house of neurosurgery. Some of them are obviously with ASR is a great partnership with AAOS. The vascular registry is with some of the other vascular outside of neurosurgery itself. So there's different models for these registries, but this is the current data about how many patients are enrolled in these. And you can see it's now quite a lot of information, even across the other specialties. And why is this important in this current talk? If you haven't really delved into this AI revolution in medicine, I encourage you to read this book. It's actually a pretty good read. Peter Lee is like one of the head of Microsoft's for medicine. But as he sits in his book, You Are What You Eat, all these AI algorithms are based on what data that you're going to be able to see. And for example, if you go to ChatGPT-4 and just say, how do I treat my herniated disc? It's going to come up with something. If you put it, ChatGPT, how should I treat my herniated disc, but only use reference PubMed articles, you're going to get a completely different answer depending upon where it's getting its data from. And this is where some of the opportunities and registries, I think, come in, where you have these multitude of databases that are coming in, going into these multitude of sources and going into the database. These databases are really expensive to set up in the past. But then we have to start thinking about what is our role, what are we trying to answer? And what question, who is that really going to be directed to? Is it directed to the DSPN? Is it directed to advocacy in the Washington Committee? Is it directed to payers? We need to, what questions do we want to answer? And the second component to this is the training. So these large, the LLMs get the data, but someone's got to train the data. And this is where we really don't have a big seat at this particular table. But we need to be able to take our data, which is maybe a smaller data set when you consider it compared to something like CMS or one of the Blues. They have huge amounts of data, but probably not curated all that well. But we in our QOD have a very curated, much better curated data. It's more surgeon driven, and then we can help establish the training mechanisms so that these large language models can actually give good data not only to us but to our patients. Again, we have multiple stakeholders within NPA. All the way up to our within the House of Neurosurgery, the board, the FDA. Again, they're going to want different information from the different registries that we have, and again, as it can be used for, longitudinal and 21 over some of this, so I won't rehash it. But here are some of the potential we can do. Prospectively collected data. This is like a business cycle. All these registries we go back. Okay, what data worked when we first started in the initial QOD? I think we had 365 elements, which a lot of us realized were not really that important. So what is the core elements and pieces of information? How can we get those in the least energy state, meaning that they're easy to collect within these EMR systems? We want bidirectional integration of these cross-cutting measures. Cross-cutting means that you're collecting one registry, is also collecting there, and you can then transform those different databases to get the information you need, develop new ones, develop the benchmarking of what we do so we will all kind of get to what's best for our patients. I think that everybody in this room, if they get their score and they're off the mean, they will try and get back on the mean. Thank you very much.